What is the powerful difference between happy and angry people? It is really not so obvious. It's just a profound and deep thought, yet it's very, very simple. And we go about our lives putting one foot in front of the other, and we hope to live happy lives. But are we really happy? I'm here to share with you ideas about angry and happy people and which one we choose to be. And it's really not so obvious. And 3 practical tips at the end. Happiness is what we seek. We seek to be happy. We seek to want to stay happy. However, it is hard to maintain that happiness unless we understand the underlying root. Where is it all coming from? What is the foundation? And I'm going to begin by saying that when a person truly focuses on what matters, truly focuses on answering to themselves versus answering to others in the world and Hashem, there's a difference in the type of people that they are. What do I mean? When a person only answers to themselves, they become the most ugliest of people. In other words, they try not to get caught, they try to lie, they steal. People become ugly by being a slave to themselves, meaning I do what I want, when I want to do it, the way I interact with others, the way I want to interact with them. It's not dictated by anything. I'm not following a blueprint or guide or any advice. It's anything that's what I want. Anything I want will happen, and the way I react is the way I want to react. Angry people are slaves to themselves. When a person only answers to themselves, they do become an ugly person, and an ugly person is one who only caters to their own needs. People who are slaves to themselves are truly unhappy people. One of the Tsar Nikolais was just an incredibly ugly person, just a true slave to himself. He knew that he was hated by everyone. And he slept with all the lights on in his palace because he was afraid somebody's going to murder him in the middle of the night. And daily, he had a slew of people killed because he was suspicious of everyone he interacted with, that someone was going to end his life. And this is the type of person who had a huge ego, was a slave to himself, controlling, bitter, angry. And this is the type of person who doesn't answer to anyone, does what they want. We live in a society that teaches us, do what you want. I wish I could just go to work whenever I want. I wish I could just sleep as late as I want. I wish I could just, have money just rolling in without me doing much. We seek the easy way out to do what we want. Now, seeking a comfortable and easy life is not the topic of this video, yet I have touched upon these topics before. The goal of this video is to share the difference between angry and happy people, and what are the sublime messages we are receiving by living these lives. And some of us think we're happy and we're really not. We're just being controlling, or we're being bitter, or we're being angry, and we're being a slave to our own ego, and that's not happiness. Now, who are happy people? Happy people are free from their own selves. A happy person is guided by the Torah. A happy person lives within the prism and the wisdom of the Torah, is constantly learning and growing in Torah. During the holiday of Pesach, you learn to be a controlled person. Not a controlling person, but a controlled. We are told how to clean our home, how to prepare for Passover, when to do Bedikat Chametz. You can't do it an hour before, an hour late. You have to make sure you do it during the time. You can't do it whenever you want to. You have to prepare for the holiday. You have to eat specific foods. There's so many stringencies. Yet, you are a free person. The word sameach in Hebrew, when it's spelled with a sin, it means happy. But sameach spelled with a tzaddik actually means to grow. In other words, I am truly happy when I'm growing, when I'm working on myself, when I work on my character, when I try to become a better person today than I was yesterday, than I was a minute ago. You can make that new start at any time. Every moment is new. It's created anew. Just because you acted this way this second, you can take a few deep breaths and start fresh in the next second. It doesn't have to go through months of therapy. It doesn't have to go through an hour, 2 hours. It could, but it doesn't have to. A person can change at any time. True happiness is growth. True happiness is not that vacation, not that renovated home, and not that piece of jewelry. Those are all temporary forms of happiness. As we know, after a vacation, we need another vacation. These are all temporary. You buy that new outfit, it's happiness. It's all temporary until it becomes old again. So yes, we want to cater to that self-care, that happiness. That's not the topic of today's video. But we're talking about lasting happiness, eternal happiness, happiness that lasts your whole lifetime. True happiness is controlling my inner monster, those negative character traits. Every one of us has an inner monster, has the Yetzer Hara, the evil angel that tells us we're going to fail, that tells us to scream and to bang and to slam and to react in anger. That is the Yetzer Hara. Stopping the urge to yell. Not saying something I will regret, being more patient. That is growth. That is enabling me to be a happier person. Look at yourself in the mirror after you control yourself, after you control your negative emotions. You'll be happy to look at yourself. But look at yourself in the mirror. Or like, I don't promote this, but if a person can't even look at themselves in the mirror when they're disappointed with the way they acted. They feel embarrassed. They can't even look at themselves. We can't even look at ourselves because it's embarrassing. It's not something we're proud of. We wish we hadn't acted that way. But the truth of the matter is, we need to understand this difference and enable ourselves and encourage ourselves to be happier people. Happy doesn't mean I always have a smile on my face, even though that is a goal. Happiness can be an inner happiness. A person can have true happiness within themselves, knowing they're growing. They're falling, they're getting back up and up and up. It's growth. Don't worry about always going up. There's no such thing. We're human beings. If you fall, go back up. If you fall, go back up. And that is true life, and that is true happiness. Look at the heartbeat. The heartbeat goes up and down on the monitor, teaching us that I must fall before I go back up. Maybe I fall back 1 step, but I could go back up 2 steps. As long as you're growing and changing, not making the same mistakes, of course. We want to change, we want to enhance ourselves. But through different ages and stages of our lives, we'll have different challenges. We won't have the same challenges. Having to run a home with a difficult schedule with a bunch of little kids, that changes because that phase of life moves on. We change. So those are not the same challenges as having teenagers in the house or having to worry about making ends meet with finances. People have different challenges at different stages. But true happiness is no matter what my stage in life is, I'm just trying to grow and I'm trying to become a better person. It's not worth it to get angry at people. In other words, they are going through a hard time, or they are, maybe they're a sick person, stressed out person, or a weak person. And that's what we need to say to ourselves when we see people who are doing and acting in ways that are just beneath a person. I feel sorry for this person. Nebuch, right? Nebuch, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for this person. They're sick. They're weak. We live in Galus. We live during the time before the redemption. Hopefully the redemption will come easily in our times. But we can enable the redemption to come even sooner through the way we act, through our actions. People do not oftentimes mean to be rude. Sometimes they do, but people oftentimes do not mean to be rude. They simply just don't know. There's a story Rebbetzin Esther Schwartz gives over where she's sitting on her deck and there's two Hasidic boys walking through her backyard. And part of her was about to say, this is my property, it's personal property. But at the same time, she said, let me just give them the benefit of the doubt. These Hasidic boys probably come from areas where they grew up, where everybody was just in each other's space. What yours is mine, what's mine is yours. And it's oftentimes in these smaller spaces, people share everything. So she did give a benefit of the doubt, and she didn't say anything. So the goal is for us to just put ourselves in that person's shoes for a minute and just say, maybe they just don't know. Maybe they simply just don't know. We know that tzaddikim, many of whom we've heard of, lived very simple lives. And they taught their kids to live simply. Rav Chaim Kanievsky of blessed memory, a big tzaddik who lived in our times, they had 2 bedrooms and 8 children. We're not advocating everyone to live in such tiny spaces. But the kids were happy. They grew up happy. They grew up learning how to care, how to share, how to think about the other, how to give in, how to be kind, how to be forgiving, because they always had to think about the other. But in our generation, it's, we feel like we're being better parents by saying, here's your phone. I'll give you your phone. A kid at such a young age is getting a phone. I'm not telling anybody what to do. And I'm not saying that person at 9 shouldn't get a phone. And I'm not telling them they should get a phone. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that let's look at our mindsets, each and every one of us as parents. What am I promoting to my child? Am I saying you, your room, your this, your that, your phone, iPhone, this phone, all these gadgets that's like only mine? I have this line that I teach in my house to my kids. When they say it's mine, I say the only thing that's yours is the saliva that in your mouth. I know it's a little bit, maybe a little gross or a little bit, it may sound a little bit, discomforting, but everything else is yours. It's yours to share. So, the point is, we need to think about teaching our children how to give and how to be there for people and how to, think about the other. All in all, we can choose to be happy or we can choose to be angry. I can be a slave to myself or be free from myself. So when I'm giving in, when I'm giving to others, I am becoming free of myself and my own ego. Okay, so we're not saying don't ever get angry. Tzaddikim also feel anger, but how do they act upon it? How do they react? So it's okay to feel the anger. It's okay to be upset, but not to stay upset, to control those emotions. So a powerful difference between being happy and being angry is that the happy person chooses to be free from their own ego, free of themselves, and free from the need to need things, right? Their happiness is temporary from people who want things just because they want it. They don't necessarily need it. We know the expression, the more I have, the more I want. And it's true. A person is really never happy with material possessions in and of themselves. We are meant to, in Judaism, we are taught to elevate what you have. Use it for a purpose. Any materialistic things that we have, yes, enjoy this world. But really, ask yourself, do you really need it or you just want it, right? And we know that in this way we could think about ourselves. Am I feeding my own ego? Or am I telling myself to be happy? I don't always need to be right. I don't always need things my way. I don't always need to be in control. And we can teach ourselves that, I don't have to have things always my way, to be in control, to be right. That means I'm feeding my ego. It is better not to need much in this world. That's like needing respect, needing honor from people, needing to be right. Rebbetzin Esther Schwartz's mother of blessed memory was went through a certain situation in her life, her grandson, which is Rebbetzin Esther Bela Schwartz's son, shared the story. And the grandson said, one day, Grandma was taking a rest. This happened about 20 years ago. And she sat on this wooden chair. And the grandson said, Grandma, why don't you sit on the couch? And she said she needs so many things in life. She does not want to get used to needing something else. And this is, just sitting on the couch. Meaning she was on such a level where she taught herself, I don't need extra things. Now, we're not promoting you not to rest on the couch. But just really ask yourself, are you buying this gadget just because to have it? Is there a purpose to it? We live in a world of stuff, and stuff is clutter, and oftentimes it clutters the neshama, our spiritual selves, that we're like suffocating in stuff in our generation. And we all need to improve in that. Most people need to improve in that. We live in a world where people need so much, and this is our challenge in Galus. In our times, we need things done right now, right? We honk on that horn, move right now. We are ready to complain if the item we bought is not good. We're dissatisfied. File a complaint. It's right away. People react angrily because they are weak, stressed, or overwhelmed. A person does not have to be part of this problem. Instead, we can tell ourselves, I want to be part of the solution, not the problem. Matzah in the holiday of Pesach represents freedom. How? The only thing matzah needs is flour and water. It teaches us to need less and to be free. A free person is not a person who does whatever they want. That's not free. Why is the night of Pesach called Seder night? Because we live in an ordered world. This world is not a free-for-all. You don't get away with anything that you do. No one gets away with anything that they do. And I need to tell myself that I cannot do whatever I want, when I want, to whom I want. This world has a creator, and the creator created a system where we are accountable for everything we do, everything we say, and everything we don't do. And the less I need, then the freer I become to serve Hashem the way I'm meant to. The freer I am, the happier I am. So what is the powerful difference between happy people and angry people? Is to be free. The powerful difference is to be a free person, not to think of myself, think of others. Think of myself as needing less, wanting less, having less, meaning whatever I have it for a purpose. We'll try to be as simple as we can. Yes, we need things. Yes, things just makes us happy, but not to stay stuck in the mindset that this is what I need to stay happy. It's a temporary happiness. And yes, we're here to enjoy this world, but to remember, happiness is being free from myself, free from my ego. And 3 practical tips I'll leave you with is, number 1, try to buy one of a certain item in order for your kids to share it. This will enable them to work on their character, to care about the other, to give in and to care. Number 2, tell your children you controlled yourself when you wanted to buy something. Make it up. Tell them you wanted to buy 5 more items and you controlled yourself and you didn't, even though you love these things. And they need to hear it because they're constantly told what to do, what not to do, but they need to see that inspiration, that growth, that modeling from their parents. And number 3 is the affirmation. The way I live my day should enable Mashiach to come sooner. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming, appreciating the insights of Rebbetzin Esther Bela Schwartz, awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.